Sure. So Balthazar Dvorkin is a tall, very pale, dark-haired, dark-eyed individual who is like unblemished and holds himself in the highest of posture and generally dresses very smartly and very darkly, um, as kind of is the fashion. He looks about mid to late 20s and in incredibly good health, but there is something about him that is compelling, but also, for the more insightful people, perhaps just vaguely off-putting. Like there's maybe a slight sheen to him, or the reflections don't quite play off him in the right way. But presuming we've known each other somewhat before, or is this completely the first time, Rob? Okay, you'd know him to be a guy who can get things done and has some quite incredible gifts when the time comes, and he's quite reliable, though perhaps a little selfish at times. And that too. He does win a lot of games at the Proficiency Club.
Yeah, Nora is not tall for a woman at 5'9", whatever, square jaw, wild, like kind of unkempt brown hair, as kind of looks like she doesn't do much other than like run her fingers through it and before she gets ready to go for the day. Like fast and not like weak by any means, but like still kind of has like a one of those like pale because I'm malnourished type of complexions. Uh like late 20s, but doesn't doesn't manage her finances well. And so never really keeps like the like roof over her head and like well fed and all that other what have yous. Uh but two rapiers belted at her sides, if they're still there, and the large mantle, black cloak.
So Ruth is in her late 20s as well. She's kind of short, uh, thin, has brown hair that's kind of tied loosely in the back, and a ponytail, a few stray kind of wisps, kind of falling forward. She has a silver kind of like cross. You can just kind of make the chain out from her dark clothing, um, and you just every once in a while kind of get like the glimpse of a hilt of a sword at her side. You guys have been traveling with her for a while, probably, and kind of know her to not necessarily be what you would think of as your stereotypical uh, religious woman. She's a little bit freer and not quite as strict and severe as some of the other clergy you may have come across.
Sister Chernobyl wears the classic nun getup. She comes from a hermitage in the north of Brighton, and she moved to London to spread the word of the gospel. The hermitage that she works at works with a very combustible new discovery called gunpowder, and they work to create things to help. I think they probably used to use it to try and spread the word, but now they've kind of found other uses for it, especially since Cher joined the Proficiency Club. Underneath her black habit, she has armor, and she keeps her gun closely holstered by her waist. She's probably as average as a nun can look, given that she's a nun. You can't see her hair because it's covered by the habit. that's Cher.
I have written down gunslinging battle nun as your class.
Pretty accurate, to be fair.
Sure.
Okay. New to
Like
the
all the kind of
new
Wild
to
West guns you would think of were invented about 100 years,
Oh yeah,
well,
I'm a dumb idiot.
about
Yeah, you're
50
right.
to 100 years ago. So any of those kind of cult revolvery type things you want to flavor them as is fine.
I call them machinists because machinist is a synonym for Smith from Smith and Wesson. Because I'm terribly clever.
Balthazar brushes his like long coat down and gets more clean than you would think from just a light brushing of the dirt. Okay. And you're here to greet us. A guide to the city that we have all occupied for quite some time. Though it seems to be lit a little differently. Some of the and he's got so Balthazar's like long fingers just sort of flash in the air a little bit. No, like magic, but they shimmer a little bit in whatever dim light is here. And I mean, I've heard of people waking up on the docks or on the bank of a river before. Not necessarily the city around them changing entirely. Would you care to elaborate? Waiting for more people to come? You mentioned a green. Well, that hasn't changed. You say that like it. Sorry, you go.
No, I was gonna say, have I heard of the Waking Bell before? Being a denizen of London my entire life.
Or the dream.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have that.
Do I have advantage for being an urchin of London? Damn. Oh, that will be a 15.
I got a 21. I'm going to keep that dice for now. Mm-hmm. So he's read or heard, whispered in his dreams or something, of dark places slightly off kilter. It doesn't phase him necessarily, initially from looking at him. You say we're to we're to ring the waking bell. Like it would be difficult. S- Care to elucidate on what guards it, or what might be between us and it? He looks to Bloody Nora. It doesn't sound that different.
No, I reckon I can get us through.
We've dealt with poor wretches before.
I'm protected by a higher power.
Indeed. People of God stand with us.
Nora frowns at him.
Hmm.
So what do you know about the gets that brought us here?
You just wait for those to arrive. You don't know how they get here. Hmm. Is that not many or none? Distinction could be important. Oh, good.
If not many come, what are you doing sitting around waiting for more? Sit
Seems like an
around with
awful
low.
sad existence.
What happens to you when we ring the bell? I
So-
have absolutely terrible insight, but I'm going. Can
Okay.
I? Do I get anything from this man beyond truth?
Yeah.
Can I make a roll?
Yeah, Nora is not much one for listening to knobs who sit around on at the side of the shore.
Apparently,
So
I love listening to knobs at the side of the shore. I rolled a one.
uh,
It's not ringing that bell at all.
let's see. That is a 24 on my insight.
I think Nora's probably seen this before. That Balthazar is just completely taken in by
Mm-hmm.
strange, weird stories of far off places.
So whenever he was all like, "This is what I do" or whatever, is there like any sort of like human or uh mortal like it's a living, or is it like more spirit based where like he can't do nothing else? So there's not really any point in shaking him down or trying to intimidate him for more information.
Were we all together before we?
Were we taken together?
Yeah.
What were we doing? Like we were all heading home together, or that's what Jane was asking. Like, were we together when we got like?
Okay then. Were we snatched together or separately?
How would you like it?
I think it could make sense for the sister and I to have been together, but if you guys were with us,
Very well. We could have just left or be going to the proficiency club and
That makes sense.
we're snatched on the street. I mean, we probably have enemies, defeated people, so. Is Roderick exhausted? As in, we've exhausted the line of questioning. Wasn't asking about his physicality. Hmm. You said the streets twist and turn. Is it that they do not stay in the same place? That you could take one street 2 times and end up in different places? Quite.
You don't know? Or like kind of takes like a huffing breath and is just
Mm. Roderick, you seem lovely, and you said he described him as very scruffy, but he had a scythe, right? Yeah. But he is not, like, unusually disproportionate. Okay. I do hope you're going to be more help to the next group of people that come through here, or even to us. You could make a lot more friends that way. Very well. Are we done, sister? Any guidance?
I recognize he looks suspiciously like the Reaper, right? Oh, but he's got a scythe.
he could just be a farmer.
I'm going to observe it. I'm not going to bring it up. Because it seems pointless at this point. He already said don't die.
Yes. So to the belfry.
God's house awaits.
Indeed. Indeed. As we walk away from him, I'm going to say to the others in slightly lowered tones, this occupying the dream, and he like does the quotation marks in the air. That sounds awfully like another realm to me. Sometimes, I've picked things up from study or just natural insight, and there are other realms. Sometimes they intersect with our own.
are they demonic in nature?
Not all of them. and I don't know if this one is or not. Dark, certainly. Might not follow all of the rules that we are used to.
Nora is keeping an eye on Roderick as we walk away. Doesn't trust him. Yeah, well, she doesn't trust him any further than she can throw him.
Uh, we know that our London and our world, I mean, we know especially doesn't follow all of the rules people think it does, but this might follow fewer of them. I think this is going to be more difficult than he makes out. And he's gonna
You make it out to be
take
terribly easy.
no.
Does anyone remember anything about the gets that grabbed us?
Don't really remember much. I think I heard Silas call my name. I turned around to see if he was offering a card game, and that's all I saw.
Hmm.
And did I catch any details, tattoos, unusual language, or demeanors, or manage to tap into the mind? Okay.
No, that's a good line of questioning. My passive insight is a 21. Did I pick up anything as we were being dragged before we got drugged? Yes, sir. Well, my passive investigation, if you're going to be like that, is actually a 20. Oh, passive, man, my passive perception. is 21. I could I like retrace our steps from like the path they traveled to the shore? Like, the whole like I'm blindfolded, I'm gonna count how long it and then they turn left and then that kind of stuff. Or no. Dan had a question that I kind of interrupted. I'm sorry.
I don't really remember.
Sorry.
Right now, no, it's okay. He'll just say something along the lines of, "Whoever did this to us, we can plot revenge when we're back on our own plane. I think the priority is don't die." And he will look, just pan to St. Paul's, and then you can cut to wherever we are.
Do you think that
Oh.
is it worth following the instructions of a madman on a pier?
We have nothing else to go on.
You mean the don't die part?
It's good advice.
I feel like don't
I
die
mean, that-
should be our primary objective.
I mean, that's part of my day to day, really.
If we get to the bell and we find that anything seems off or more off than anything else here, then perhaps we can second guess our friendly guide. But we have little to go off until we are there, I suppose.
I mean, it's probably a trap. So all I'm saying.
A
If
trap
you-
or maybe a challenge? He seemed to disbelieve that people could make it there very regularly.
Mm.
Right.
She grunts.
Unimal.
So a whole animal.
But they're definitely the incorporeal ones and not us, to our view. Right. But they ignore us, push past us, through us, avoid us? So in the it's not hustle and bustle enough that we have to push past them, but they are just there around us. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, that was unexpected. Are they like pitiful creatures or like imposing creatures? Are they ones that are part bear and walk 3 feet taller than it? Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna put this up for you, Rob, in the chat, because I might attempt this in a second. It's one of my class features. Do we wish to press on ourselves, or do you wish a second opinion from the scythe-wielding Darksman?
Well, I mean, none of these folks exactly fill me with warmth.
This feels like hell.
You may not be far off.
That worries me
Or
more.
at least a purgatory of sorts. I could try converse with one of them. If there's one that takes your fancy over another.
I fancy none of these creatures.
Well, I meant in a more
I know.
influential way, sister. Or we can avoid them.
Are the humanals not responding to us either? Are there any that, like, at all that appear to notice us? Well, that's not what I asked. I asked if they were noticing us. That was just if there were like any like eye flickers or recognition. Mm. Are they all heading in the same direction? None
With
of
this,
these.
sorry, you
Oh,
go.
oh, I was just gonna say like none of these like look especially talkative.
Okay. With the streets, are there like, is there any signs of like commerce or shops or anything? Are there signs in the wind? Nothing. Okay. Like doors on off hinges and glass broken and okay. Well, they don't have to be that cooperative. While we're walking, he is just going to find some meek little creature, not even like make any motion towards it, and just without even like breaking step, he will attempt the invasive thoughts thing just into a creature's mind, and see what he gets back, if anything. So he just connects to something else. You wouldn't be able to help a stranger around this town, would you? This is all telepathic. Okay. She seems to be speaking a language. I look around. Do I see any of them? No. Sure. Hmm. If that just repeats on loop, he'll disconnect. That is a 10.
That is a Kraken for a total of 19.
That's fine.
Oh. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing.
So Balthazar obviously distracted by the conversation he's having with this. I say conversation very richly. He'll just, as they keep walking, just speak out to the group. Well, they seem sentient at least. One was speaking about coins and rats, like they'd lost something. Not all that able to help.
Maybe you should throw her some coins.
Awesome rats.
Well, I figured the coins would be a bit easier.
There are coins mean little in this world.
Nora will pull out a few shillings from her pocket and
I'll
say,
point at the one that I was talking to.
so Nora will like go up and stand in front of her and like throw the coins down in front of the woman. So she's trying to say out loud what she was saying in Balthazar's head. Well, then I'll bloody well pick them up and put them back in my pocket. Oh, actually, I get to roll this time.
It's because your perception's so high. Oh, insight.
Yeah.
Is this perception or insight? Insight. Great. 16.
We have a. You said we had a +1 to it from before, huh? 23.
Natural 1.
18.
Jesus, blood of Mary and Joseph. Nora's gonna like freeze in place and stare up at it. Oh fuck.
You okay, Nora?
Can you not see that?
What? And he's like looking around at all the dog, bear, cat people in front of him.
The bloody pale thing holding up the tower.
There's nothing there.
No, it's like a woman with tentacles.
Nothing there. This world's getting to you, Nora. Let's get out of here fast.
As I'm like staring at it, it's like still there, right? Does it have like creepy octopus sideways eyes or whatever? Okay, okay. No, it's right there.
I'm awfully sorry to say, Nora, that I agree with the others. I know you're normally more perceptive than the rest of us, but
Well, then maybe you should bloody well listen. There's something there, and it's watching us.
I'm listening. I also see a tower that is defying gravity. If you say it's being held, then I'm inclined to believe you, but I don't see anything.
No, it's bloody well there. Just because y'all can't see it doesn't make it not true. And she kind of like is not like looking at like either any of you. Is just kind of like staring up at it, all like that's not something you turn your back on or you drop your gaze from.
Are we having to walk towards this tower to head to St. Paul's? Okay. How about we take another path? And he's going to attempt to like turn away from the tower.
Nora will like continue like side on as long as we're not like going closer to it. She'll be all right. All right. Mm-hmm.
You hear in your mind, Nora dear, are you absolutely certain?
I wouldn't make stuff like that up.
No, I suppose you wouldn't. Like I said, I do believe you, but honestly, there was nothing to be seen.
If you're like mind to mind, can she think the image of the creature at him so that he
That
can see it?
Up to Rob? The invasive thoughts, the thing that I posted up, that two people gain a telepathic link for 10 minutes. As long as they speak at least one language, they can speak back and forth.
No.
Okay. So he will say, if you see anything more like that, do tell me.
Like going all fuzzy in my head. Cool. Cool. I think Nora is now like got like her hands or her hand on like her rapier as we walk. It is a little bit darting, eyes darting back and forth. So as she like tries to like think the thing at Balthazar, because not probably not the first time you've done stuff like this. So she was like trying to
For
like
sure.
share what she saw so that
Hmm.
he could know, and but like it like slips away, and like you can kind
She
of
doesn't have the
sense
words.
her frustration.
Hmm. Quick step now. Uh, yes. He is like looking around a little bit more. Um, maybe runs like a hand through his hair. And he's trying to like quicken the pace a little bit to wherever the next landmark is between here and St. Paul's.
I was just going to say, if she has like any sort of like attention in our direction, like both rapiers are coming out. Okay. Sorry.
Sister Cher lifts up her skirt and draws her what did I call them? Machinist pistol. There you go.
Yes. Does the name Anton mean anything to me? Okay, right. Nothing significant. Uh, he turns. This woman spoke the same language we speak, clearly. So he sort of turns to this 9-foot woman, advancing on him. I'm afraid you have me mistaken. Like aggressively or upset? Right.
Nora's gonna step in between.
Oh God. But it's building the pathos. Well, fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell.
Well, hell.
Well, hell.
So basically, for me, sorcerers are like just made to twin concentration spells. So I have a gazillion concentration spells, of which I can twin onto 2 of us. Like haste, or polymorph, or enlarge reduce. I could banish. Hypnotic pattern seems a waste against a single person. I've got Hunger of Fedar, Evod's Black Tentacles,
Mm.
Arms of Fedar, Tentacles for Days.
Yeah, buddy.
So if and we have fought before. If people would like significant buffs for what would probably be one of not many combat scenarios in this one shot, I have more than enough spells to give people an edge.
I stab things real good.
Same.
Hmm.
I am a dual wielder and what have you, and I have the superiority die. So I stab things real good.
And let's fight this shit with God's wrath, bitches.
I mean, I don't know how strong this woman is, uh, but
Yeah.
I mean, or whatever else is coming. I mean, I could easily. I've got 3 hastes, not counting 4th levels. I could use it to cast on, so we could start with a haste if you want.
Up to you.
I mean, do we want to conserve resources because this is the first combat?
Yeah, because it does take. Doesn't it take another spell slot when you twin?
No, that's not how twinning works.
Oh yeah, it's just the points. That's right.
Yes, I spend points equal to that. So
Right.
haste will be one of my level 3s, of which I have 3, and then I have 2 level 4s, and all the rest of it, and then it will be
Mhm.
3 of my 8 sorcery points. But I mean, it'll help us not get beaten up as much and conserve health resources, I guess.
Yeah, it might be good to twin a little bit on yourself, just because if she's focusing on you, you want to be able to maintain concentration on the haste thingies, because you'll have to make checks for both of them individually if you get hit.
I was planning on not getting hit, but I can
Yeah.
take the. I mean, we can see how it goes. I
Yeah.
have a mirror image for this purpose, so
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
can mirror image in the first turn and see how she looks after you guys get some smashing time. And if
Mhm.
it's looking pretty bad, I can change things from there.
So
I
I have
guess.
action surge.
I also have 17 armor class and shield. So
Oh,
if it really comes to it,
true. But I've got my superiority die, and if she's an undead or a fiend or an aberration, I don't have to roll to add the extra damage. It just happens. It's just 8 damage.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
I took the Mind Silver cantrip from that Unearthed Arcana, which is at this level only 2d6 psychic damage, but is -4 on the next save they make
Oh, nice.
before the end of my next turn. However, none of you guys are making that many save checks, but
No,
it'll be
I don't have
useful for
any.
me
Mm-hmm.
if we
Yeah,
need to banish.
it's so nice that it's the end of your turn, not the beginning of your next.
Exactly.
Mm.
It's not very strong in terms of damage, but it's also an int save they have to make, which is usually quite difficult.
Mm.
I
Don't
just
forget, if you're within 10 feet of me, Paladin. +4.
woo. That's good because I mean I have very decent Dex, Constitution, and Charisma saves. I'm proficient in all of them, and I've got 18 or 20 in all of them. But an extra 5 or so, I presume, right now.
4.
4.
Yeah.
That would put me at like 12, 11, 11 for those, and then my shitty saves would look a hell of a lot better.
Noise.
I mean, it's free +4, so as long as you're. Well, you might not be super close to me.
No, it might be safer for me to be back, but it's all good. If you want to put yourself between giant, crazy fishhook whip wielding lady and me, then
God.
I'm more than happy.
I mean, I'm gonna make a note of it because I'm pretty sure we're gonna be like right up in it together.
Yeah.
You don't have to use it if you don't want to. It's whatever.
I mean, totally. I'm gonna be all about that +4.
Gonna be right back. Howdy. It's fine. If luckily playing a game where it blends in to the theme. So this lady's out here to catch herself an Anton. Oh boy. I'm glad. Sweet. We printed out all of the various passes and tickets and stuff, apart from the plane stuff, today's. So, or yesterday's. That would be handy, or send them our way and we'll see if we can get them done, especially if you can get them on Friday, would make that much more convenient. I didn't know, because I think you said 48 and 24 hours in the conversation we had, so I didn't know which one necessarily. Okay.
Hello.
Hey. I don't know if they do like phone boarding passes at all. Otherwise, we're gonna have to find somewhere to print off in Iceland. I'm just thinking on the way back.
You can check in online and print at the airport too, and it won't lose your place. Mm-hmm. It's what I usually do is check in online 24 hours in advance, and then whenever I get to the airport, they have like the little terminal. You can just put in your confirmation code, and it'll print off your passes.
How long now?
Because I like the boarding passes that actually look like boarding passes.
Yeah, we'll be there sometime. Sometime.
Do
If
some
we can get-
scouting for things to do whenever I'm there.
Haven't we got the hotel? Oh, yeah, on Heathrow. Yeah, we'll be there about 2-ish. Yeah, I put them in a group in a folder the other day, and that we got them all sorted and printed out and stuff. So yeah, you might want to get the details for the hotel squared. And if you remember, we're gonna go meet up maybe for lunch or dinner or something with Some friends over there. Oof.
Gatwick was super expensive whenever I was looking at stuff for London. Like the flights were more expensive. They were like twice as much as the Heathrow ones. How do you add folders in Gmail now?
I don't know. I have a Gmail account, but I don't really use it.
Hmm.
I think it's that my
There we go.
basically ever since I had an email, it was because I'm like a 90s kid or whatever, or at least for email purposes, probably. I have Hotmail
I had
or
a
Live, yeah.
Hotmail.
Okay. That's when you get in, or that's when you leave? Okay. Probs. We're getting in at the Victoria bus station at about at 1:45. Is supposedly what it's going to be. Ah. Oh, that would be. I believe there's like, because I've done this trip quite a few times. I believe there's like a pub, like just outside. Like you literally step out the bus station and there's like a pub just outside. So you have somewhere to sit if you wanted to meet us directly there. Hmm. I think it still might be a little while till we get there. Obviously, you'll beat us by some. Cool. Tree after tree. After tree after tree. Um, Yush. Sure. Hmm. It's going to be about 300 feet away from the perfect temperature for a partner. Oh, you would just shout to each other. Interesting. Well, I can see a Starbucks very, very close on Google Maps. I swear there was a pub, although it's not coming up. Anyway. Indeed, adventures, real life adventures. Going to the healing spa and venturing out to the waterfalls. Having already been to various, even international online meetups, like I've done this before, so I have no. This is weird that I have actually like a body positive image in terms of nerd meetups, compared to you. That's funny. You sure? I, I mean, I would encourage you to do the former.
You know,
I can
giant
never-
hugs, spin them around.
No, I'd be spinning him round. That's how it's gonna go down. Okay, sure. Go, go for it.
You can certainly try.
Uh, that sounds familiar. I still can't. Okay, we will definitely hammer this out. Oh no. Okay, no. Yeah, yeah. Shakespeare's right side. Willow walks like a street away. There is a Victoria. From what if you, I've put in Victoria Bus Station, London pubs. There's a Victoria pub that's possibly the one I'm talking about because it's even closer than the Shakespeare. Mine says traditional food pub, British food pub. That's weird. Kind of like the Northern End, just down from the Shakespeare. I mean, no, this just says Victoria. It says traditional dark wood pub with banquets and pavement tables. That's strange. And there's also one directly south, which is Traveller's Tavern, and then there is one directly east for St George's Tavern. There's and a Weatherspoons. Yeah, there's about 8 of them, within about a minute. Oh, reliable spoons. Honestly, I ha- I have to say one of my favorite sentences I think you've ever said is I collect photos of the carpets. That's it's the most awful hobby in the world. Oof. Yeah. Mhm. Wonderful name for a wonderful man. Whoever has the fucking gall as parents to give your kid the middle name of Kingdom. So the rest of the name's pretty baller, but how can we take this to the next level? Yeah. How was this kid? like literally own the world. Give him that amount of confidence that he can just build fucking bridges everywhere. True. But for the kingdom, I would imagine so.
I mean, I never left, so
Liam?
I left for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
I think we've got everyone in control.
I mean, they can ask me if they want, but
I don't need that information.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Do you have that much faith in me? Or would you just not want to know?
Someday
I
I
don't know
want to
how
find
to
out for
take it,
myself.
Liam.
Okay,
Oh,
someday I want to find out for myself.
that is a lovely sentiment, and I'm more than welcome if you want to come down to Nottingham anytime. Apart from in a week, and I mean, you could. We don't have that much room.
Move.
You could come
Jesus
down
Christ, is the
after
week
Christmas.
immediately afterwards.
Come down in April whenever I'm going to be there.
That's what I was thinking. If you
I
wanted,
could
you
do
could
that.
meet Rob and see. Oh.
No.
I want to meet you, Rob. So I mean, you're fucked now.
You might be on the sofa. We don't have that much space, but at least it'll be free accommodation. That's good. How tall are you, Liam?
5'7".
Oh, fantastic. We can fit you in. That's great. No, you could probably fit in the box room. Liam's probably fine in the box room. Then
Daniel, I'll go wherever you put me.
I'm 5'3", so.
Yeah, well, I
Google.
figured you were probably taking the spare bed. We have a blow up, and I guess then we'll have the sofa.
And then you've also got a blow up bed. Hey-oh.
Yeah. Oh. I oh.
Well, I mean, I don't want to put her out. That's.
If you
You'll be the one
deflate her, she
sitting out.
takes less space. So
Oh. Lord.
laundry or something else.
Fold up.
I'm genuinely serious, Liam. If you want, we can make this thing.
I did get my holidays reset just before April.
If you
Yeah,
want some, sorry.
yeah, I was just gonna say I'm coming down like the last week of April.
I should be fine. I'll double check though.
Jade, you want to come with me?
I would if I didn't have to work.
Oh yeah, because you can't really take off
Nope.
this school year. It's only
When's
a
the
week
summer
though.
holidays? Yeah.
I can't take an entire week.
Ours are
Oh.
like the week before, so.
Yeah. I think I have spring break like the 10th through the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
Of April.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. That sucks. That's probably why the prices go back up again, but that's
Yeah.
I mean, if you did find that you could, or even for some amount of time, I'm sure we could find a space for everybody if you wanted to.
All right. How should I
We have a shed.
do anything about it?
Have a shed.
We also have a hammock. Thinking about it, it's actually quite comfortable. Oh, you bastard! I cannot. Sleep is a finicky mistress for me. I cannot sleep on any transport at all ever.
I hate him.
And it's what my partner does. Like, puts on a radio program for 5 minutes and is asleep after 1 minute of it. Like, oh, sleep through anything.
Now, hey, should we play our spoopy game? No.
Spoop. Spoop.
I have a +10 to my initiative for a 22 because I rolled
16
12.
Sweet. I got a 19 on the dice for 23 initiative. That was
12.
good.
22.
fella.
12.
So, how far away is 40 feet? Very well. Very well. In her advancing on me, how quickly do I think she can move? Or have I not gleaned that information? She's moving fast. Okay, so I'm kind of within distance. So I will back off like my 30 feet ish, as long as it doesn't take me too far away from everybody. Sure. Just as long as I'm, not round the corner or out of sight or whatever like that, or there aren't other people incoming. On a road, excellent. I am going to. Ooh, just before I back off, I think what I'm going to do this turn, just to see what happens. I'm going to use. In the Unearthed Arcana that my class comes from. There was a psionic cantrip called Mind Silver. I'm not sure if it meant to say sliver, but it said silver. 60 feet is an initiative to DC. 2d6 psychic damage at this level, and they will take 1d4 on their next save before the end of my next turn. So I have DC 16. If you'd like to make an int check, I will try jab a psychic, spanner into her works. Excellent. So he puts his hand to his temple like some sort of vaudeville conjurer, and generates a good old 7 psychic damage towards the big lady, trying to press home the point. They've done nothing to me yet, and I am not your Anton. And then I'm going to, as casually as you can manage, walk away from the giant whip-wielding lady. Does it seem to take full effect? Excellent. I can feel her pain. That'll be my go for right now. So should be about 70 feet from her, ideally. Cool.
Right. So Nora's got both rapiers out, and she's gonna give the lady a good old stabbing with both lefty and righty. Oh, 40. No, she can move 30. All right then. Then she's going to move the 30 feet up, and then she's gonna shoot her like crossbow at the lady then. Yep. That will be a 15 to hit. That'll be 10 points of damage.
Woo.
Can without her having any feats, you can only fire that once, right? I don't really do crossbows. So what? Okay. Oh,
You're not going to put any battle master
is
stag on.
she a fae, fiend, or undead? Then now I'll hold off. The 19 I'll hit. Oh,
Oof.
Jesus. Yeah, go fuck yourself, you cunt. She's still a cunt.
Liam?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said sure, as in
No,
sure. I get
no,
it.
he
Not
said
fair.
yeah.
Oh, I thought he
Sorry,
did too.
sorry. Let me see.
Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Oh, that would have been funny. Constantinople. Oh, that would be clever.
Next one.
Her sister in the next one.
Oh, they're
I'm
all
gonna
her
point my
sisters.
gun.
Well,
because
yeah,
we did
exactly. A lot to choose from.
the approaching what's her name, but instead of a bullet leaving it, it's instead a guiding bolt.
Ooh.
Right up the bum.
Right
gonna
off
miss
You
that.
know
the
where to place
bum.
it.
Right up the fanny. Sorry.
15.
You having fun?
I am. Yeah, you don't give
15
it.
fella.
15 hits.
4d6. Now I gotta get d6 out. What a fool.
46.
Max.
Right.
12. 14. 20. 20 radiant, specifically. And the next attack roll made against this target before the end of my next turn has advantage, thanks to a mystical dim light.
So I'll move. She said she's 40 feet away.
She's now 30 feet away because she advanced 10 feet on Nora, who was 30 feet ahead. So
Oh, okay. So I will move up into combat range. I cast Hunter's Mark. Yeah, and I want to take 2 swings at her with my sword. The first one having advantage, correct? So the first one is going to be a 20 to hit. Uh, 12 points of damage. And then 22. That's 7 points of damage.
Interesting. Is there anything particularly clever I can do that auto conserves some spell slots? Okay. Also, seeing that she's been caught up by others' attention, he will stride probably back to where the good sister is, about 30 feet away ish from, ideally 30 feet. Can I get, she move forward? Yes, I can get 30 feet just to that combat. I am going to cast Enlarge Reduce. And I'm going to try shrink her, and I'm going to twin it, and try and increase the size of Bloody Nora. So
Bloody
she
hell.
gets a Constitution save, and Nora can accept it, I presume, without a save if you want to.
She fails.
Rolled how many?
With
Crap.
a minus
So
D4.
even with a minus D4, she wouldn't have failed. It won't have mattered. Um, I
Well, that's
I
all
could
right.
if I
I'm the
wanted
same
to
size now.
spend another 3 sorcerer points and give a disadvantage on that save because I took the heightened meta magic. I'm not sure if I can put both on.
No,
Not sure
you
I can
can't,
put both.
unless it's supposed to
Oh,
can.
well, it fails on her. That is unfortunate. I presume you will accept an enlarging.
I mean, I failed the save, so
Oh, okay. You tried to resist it. Fair enough.
I just wanted to see, so it would be my choice.
Do not want.
So standing near the sister, Balthazar kind of outstretches a hand, and reality seems to shimmer a little, as if it was light reflecting off like a soap bubble. And where Nora stands, she's encompassed in just the slightest, like impossibly thin kind of sheen that ripples, and the ripple as the light comes in, and when you see something underwater, it can be larger or at a different angle. That image takes hold within the bubble, and then the bubble pops, and she is now that size.
Oh, bloody hell.
Thank you. That was one of the spells that I had some dope description ready. So she's now got advantage on strength checks, strength saving throws, and has an extra D4 to each individual weapon attack that you make.
Nice.
And you are now a large creature, so you have reach and all the rest of it. So you're like her size now. I was hoping she would be small, but oh well.
No, and I beat her about the neck and face with my rapiers, if you please, sir. That will be on the floor, but that's a 17, no, a 16 and a 17 on my d20s. Oh, that's max damage. 17 points of damage on one, 11 points of damage on the other. And
Did you count the D4s?
yes,
Cool.
I did. Yeah, and on my bonus action, I will Second Wind.
Oh, okay.
Is it not all right?
Yeah. I mean, this ain't going away. So
Oh wait,
you
shoot!
have extra damage on your offhand attack from your.
That's right.
wielding.
I actually need to roll that real quick. I forgot that I had that. That is 1,000,000 to hit, 15 plus 8, and Sorry, new fighter. Who dis? 9 points of damage on the no 8 plus 8 plus 5. 14 points of damage on that offhand.
That was it. Have you done the
Yes.
D4 on that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm rolling them together.
Very cool.
Second wind. Let me roll, see how much that is. 16 points back to me.
Oh Jesus.
All right then, go fuck yourself. Hmm. All right.
Oh Christ, our Saviour.
Net.
A 16 to hit. That is 13 points of damage. And I'm going to let me make sure I could do this. When you make a weapon attack, yeah, I'm gonna spend a superiority die to make it extra bloody. Actually, I'll spend 2. And that will be a 7 and an 8 on those, so 15 on top of that. Nora just like lays into her.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, she had a
Are you
wedding
doing
dress on.
the critical fails
Okay.
equals roll a d100 gimmick? Are you doing the critical fails equal d100 gimmick? Okay, that's good to hear.
Oh,
I got an 18 for 7 points of damage, but I also have the Sentinel feat.
oh, thank God.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Stand where I can smite you, evil. Yeah. Yep.
It sounds like a Mince quote, Dan.
Yeah.
Jump on my sword while you can, evil. I won't be as gentle.
Oh my.
Go for the eyes, boo.
Go for the eyes.
That was share again, Liam.
God damn it.
To be fair,
I picked the name. I'm aware. Let's go with. Do I have more pokey spells?
Yeah, Pokey spells.
Yeah, more pokey spells.
Pokey,
I
pokey
do.
spells.
I do have more. I'm afraid I don't have a gun to heal people, but I do have a gun to murderate people. I might do that. I'm gonna murderate this motherfucker. Show me potato salad. I fucked it. 11. You're a little cunt. Ew, bullet goes wide. Wait, what do I have as a bonus action before you go ahead, you little cheeky minx? Oh, I'm gonna cast a spiritual weapon.
Ooh.
As
hope
much as I
so.
love that, As much as I love that, we're gonna go with a hammer because it's classic.
Okay.
The hammer of God.
You could pistol
I'm
whip
not
it.
going to swing a
with
big
the
old cross
gun.
around, am I? Touche. Let's go for a big fuck off crucifix. Big fuck off crucifix. I can't swing it. I can only swing it with an action, but I can summon it so it's there now.
No, you do.
No, you can attack with it. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, gentlemen. In Arabic. Why not?
Ooh,
I don't think that's a hit either.
what'd you get?
Oh, 16 it does. Ho ho. Ho 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 ho. Swinging a big old Jesus stick. That's an 8. That's an 8. Ugh, only 5 damage. Hooray.
Plus your mods. Did you put your mod on that? Did you roll that lowly?
I did. I rolled a 1. 1 plus
Oh.
4, 5.
Sometimes I don't know why I ask. Like you roll real low damage, and I'm like, are you sure you added your mod? Oh, no, you rolled a 1.
It's
That's
entirely
because
possible that I could, in fact, do it wrong. This time was just not one of those times.
you just tend to do it right, but roll so poorly that it's as if you did it wrong. Oh, poor Liam.
I'm gonna stab it.
Stabby stab.
By any chance of the 13 hit? That was my best one. That's my go.
Oh, we're ready. Okay. Give me 1 second. I am going to. I'm gonna dissonant whispers. And that's a wisdom saving throw on a spell save of 16. It does. I do rather fancy it. So you whisper discordantly, they are wrecked with terrible pain. On a failed save, it takes damage, which I'll roll in a second. Immediately will use its reaction, if available, to move as far as speed allows away from you. The creature doesn't move into obviously dangerous ground. On a successful save, they take half as much. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to do the damage for you, sir. The damage is 12 psychic damage, and I'm going to say I am awfully sorry to tell you, but I am not your Anton. He is no longer here. And I will say that with some force, and it will like echo, and she will feel in pain. Yeah.
No, she has to use her reaction to run away. So unless she has a yeah, so she can run again and well, she has to leave my threat range for me to get the opportunity attack, I guess.
So she is gonna attempt to leave our range.
Mm-hmm.
Not so lucky this time.
Did you miss?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see if I hit.
Usually force
Uh,
movement stops opportunity attacks, but luckily this makes them do it. So them
Mhm.
doing it means that you get to hit them.
Yeah, that's why I always love it as a bird. That's 17 on the die for 25 with 13 points of damage on that opportunity attack. And then it's my go. So I'm going to chase after her to give her another good stabbing. Or two. I'm not
Remember your
stingy.
D4s.
Oh, I am. Don't worry. They're right here in my hand. That is a 23 and a 21 to hit on my main attacks. That is 10 points damage on one, 14 points damage on the other. And then my offhand attack is going to miss with a 13. Yeah, offhand misses. Yeah, both will hit. Oh, shucks.
Oof.
Is there like a bloodied when you're bloodied? Just I'm down a third of my health. I'm
Oh,
down
Jesus.
to a third of my health.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. I know.
Are you actually
Where
legally
the hell?
given just Rob, not the full name?
I'm sure we have. It's like how you're
Okay.
Dan, not Daniel.
I'm actually officially Daniel because
Are you?
just
Oh, sorry.
everyone calls me Dan in my entire life. So that's interesting to know.
I'm
Do
looking for
continue.
that yet. What's this? Ooh, that's a high level spell though. I want to keep that. Let's keep that. Let's go with what level's that? Q wounds at third level to try and save. See, Nora. Excuse me. I have to touch. You're right. Anton lady looks pretty bad, right? $55 feet. Oh, I can only move the weapon 20 feet. That's a bitch. But I can still shoot her, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Shooter! Shooter!
22. 4. The bullet hits her in the big toe. And then I move my spiritual weapon to 20 feet in the hopes that maybe she'll come back. And I can just thwack her.
She's looking real rough. Or like, kind of rough. Yes, no? I'll move up and attack her. 23 and a 15. Uh, 26 points of damage all up.
Nice. How rough is she looking now? Distinctly the roughest. Okay. Uh, uh, okay, good. Uh, oh, screw it. It worked the last time. Saves my precious spell slots, I guess. I will continue to advance forward as everyone is doing down the street. He will basically decry her end, I guess. Not through this attack, but probably through the ensuing opportunities, maybe. Though I am upset that you are apart from the one you love, this will be your end. And there'll be a sadness that echoes down the alleyway, and she will have to make wisdom save for dissonant whispers. Sweet. That is only 9 damage from my end. But she will then take a reaction to run and takes opportunities.
My attack opportunity will hit. Eight points of damage, and I have the sentinel.
So she goes nowhere. Nora, have you got anything to add?
If she didn't leave my threat range, I don't get the attack of opportunity.
Oh, it depends whose opportunity attack triggers, I guess.
Mm.
She had to start to. Yep.
My reach is 10 feet. Is 10 feet now though, because I'm a bigger. So she doesn't leave my threat range.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
but it is my turn.
sure.
So
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, like, super bloody and shaking. The first is gonna be a 12, and that misses. The second will be a bloody 20 for 9. 9 points of damage. And then the offhand will be a 19 on the dice for 27. For 11 points of damage. Right. So after taking that crit, and she and Balthazar and Ruth kind of lay into her. I don't think Nora really sees anything other than the lady, old tunnel vision, blood pouring down her face, and her hair kind of tangled in her eyes, and she just kind of stabs into her, almost in a blind rage, and just stabs and keeps stabbing, not really noticing that the 9-foot tall woman has fallen.
Oh, okay.
Guess who's going
Oh.
crazy? Don't think it's me because I'm bad at this. 12.
Oh, fucking hell.
12.
9.
Mm-hmm. And my passive insight is now a 20.
Balthazar walks up to you, and you are still large as he gets there, and he kind of
So even though she's hunched over and exhausted, it probably puts her face closer to actually being your height.
perfect. He'll, I presume, maybe you're either looking at that lipless sucking hole or you've turned away.
Oh.
I'm not sure, but he'll put his hand on your cheek, and your form will ripple like a bubble popping, and you will have resized into your normal size. It's like, next time you fight for us, fight in one of my guises. And he mean, you may have done it before. He means one of his polymorphs. We don't die. And he's very close to you right now, foreheads touching almost. We don't die.
Right. Right. We don't die.
And maybe he wipes some blood or a tear of exertion. I'm not sure, from your cheek.
Probably
All
a bit
right,
of both.
bit of both then. A bit
Yeah.
of both. Sister, do you have anything for this?
Can certainly give it a try.
I'm feeling a wee bit peckish there, sister.
I'ma use something cool. I'm sure of it. I just gotta find the fucking thing. 4th level cure wounds.
4th level.
Oof.
That's pretty cool.
I wanna make sure you don't die.
Well, I mean,
8,
oh,
7,
oh,
5.
that's
Oh
not
no.
bad, not bad. That's good, dude. That's still good. That's still good.
2 plus 4 is another 6.
So how
I
much
hope
is
you've
that
been
all
doing
up?
math.
8, 5. No, Was it 875?
875.
Yeah,
26.
26.
Nice.
She like presses her finger against your forehead,
Oh,
draws it down, and then does the cross basically.
thank you. But I think I'm gonna try to avoid that for a while, if you don't mind.
That sounds like an excellent idea.
I'll put a hand on Ruth's shoulder. Stoic as ever.
Let's do what we have to do.
Regardless of if it's a thug or a 9-foot bride, you do not blanch. Fear does not have your form.
The Lord is with me.
And through you, all of us. And he would like just the slightest squeeze. We shouldn't tarry too long. And he's like doing his cuffs, reorganizing them.
As we walk off, Nora's gonna stare at the body of the bride and kind of mutter to herself. It's like, Lord may be with Ruth, but I don't think he's here with us. As
With
but
us.
like with us. Yeah, that was a bit. That one.
Sorry.
Thanks for pointing it out, Liam. I was
Sorry.
doing real good.
Sorry.
There's a moose loose about this hoose.
There's a moose.
Yes, I'm used to this house. Fucking hell.
I tell you what. Yeah. Nora's just gonna shut her eyes and is going to start like muttering to herself so that she doesn't have to see the spider in the worms, like every time like there's like, yeah, like she waits to hear a rumble and then she's trying not to look.
Can I see this? Or no, not the thing she's saying. Can I see her reacting to it? Or do you want me to roll perception? Uh, uh, 12. Okay. So, even with her eyes closed, I'll reach out a hand, to an available hand that may or may not contain a rapier, and just whisper into her mind, I will be your eyes.
Yeah, and she'll just nod and whisper, "Thank you."
He'll hold the hand firmly and guide her through the streets, through the rain, and he'll just, I don't know, say calming things, but they're probably slightly macabre, or in some way. Like the next time you open your eyes, you will, and the next thing we fight will not be your flesh bitten into. It'll be my magic or my strength.
And like the muttering to herself will kind of subside.
So many
Is
lost
this,
souls in
sorry, at the
quest.
gate of St. Paul's or somewhere else? Okay.
Gracious. A lot of lost souls here.
Does she seem cognizant of our arrival? I would agree with you, sister. This is a place full of them. My dear, what what happened here? What does the corpse look like? Is it long gone, or is it newly murdered, or object? Hmm. And she's dressed in like clothing we would find typical in our normal London. As is man. This is some sort of purgatory for those that have lost a lot. Too
Try and
much.
find our way, shall we?
I will, as we're kind of passing, is she sat directly in the gate or can we pass by through the gate? Okay. Still holding on to Nora's hand, I'm going to try and talk to her as we pass by. Like, He's gone. If you know it, then this is no place for you. You have to move on. Don't remember what. Does she look like one of us? Like she is corporeal and... Yes, to me. I've not seen any of these tentacles whatsoever at this point. Come with us. We will ring the bell and we'll return to where we know. With possibly like his last sentence before he passes by, he wouldn't want you to linger here. Whoever he was, he is gone, and you yet live on. Hmm.
Despite her tentacle, do I get the feeling that she could pass on? Or is she sort of a part of this world? Could I roll for it? Or is that something that would be beyond my comprehension regardless of what my skills were? Okay, got you. Someday you will move on.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I rolled a 19.
Mhm.
I can give you the actual maths if you like.
I actually rolled really high, unfortunately. I got a 17. Can we have 1 minute and I will return? Thank you. Bye.
For the record, the math is 26. So if I was trying to work out if somebody was lying, I'd have done grand. Yes.
4. Something. I don't know if sane is the word I would use, but okay. I'll be right back.
Nora like sees all. Poor thing. Might be a good idea to polymorph her into something dumb real fast.
I'm back. Oh, dude. You sound like you're flagging. I guessed. Being at Old St. Paul's.
Oh,
St.
jeez,
Fake
Rob.
Paul's. That's what happens. You start to wind down. Yeah. You start. it was noticeably different in like the first 5 minutes of us starting this hangout kind of thing. Like it just dipped. But it is what happens. You start like your body starts winding down, and you just. we totally does.
They're having a few pops where I was like, is that in character or is that just Rob dying?
Dun, dun, dun.
Holy fuck.
Mm-hmm. I'm figuring that's what a lot of the plane journey and such will be, and the long bus journey. Such will much create. You okay, see?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I'm tired.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crime.
You got fleeced.
Fucking
Yeah.
just put it on the internet so
Unless
you
it
can
was
get offended.
multi-pack.
Or like a vending machine.
True.
Maybe that's the corn chip you sell your friend to Satan for.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like slightly more, I don't know, noble or progressive than it really means, but
We're a multi-pack culture.
yeah. Mhm.
Did my insight go up again after that last one that I didn't have to roll for? Yeah, okay, I'm at 21 now.
Nice.
Insight is now 8.
I just have to say that I purposely had low wisdom for this guy, because I imagine if he was like getting his powers from, the great uncleaned ones or whatever from a different realm, like he wouldn't be very wise. Like he would just do things. And I love that it's turned out to be the best way,
To
supposedly,
save yourself.
to save myself. That
You could
maybe
look at
he
it like you're packed with your patron is protecting you.
possibly. I imagined it almost like that. I mean, he is a sorcerer, but I imagined it almost like a warlock in that way, that
Mhm.
he was so used to this, to a degree that it has helped significantly keep him sane. Either that, or he's just purely so unobservant he hasn't seen anything untoward in this place, and he's just like, "No, this is fine." Instead of like flames around the dog, it's tentacles around the dog sitting in like the cafe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Indeed.
Oh, sweet Mary.
Nora's gonna like back up and is just gonna do like the no, 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 no. I'm not going up there.
That is it just for like a flicker, or is it just, writhing for a good couple of minutes? It doesn't go away. He sort of paler than usual in the knuckles and the gritting of the lower jaw. He like looks up at it. I think I'm starting to see. And I imagine you pull free from his grasp or something and backing away.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably a fair bit stronger than I am, but
Ruth will make it an attempt to kind of grab her wrist. We must stand strong. We're close now.
No, I'm not going. I'm not going up there. And she's gonna like reach underneath like her little poncho like uh mantle cape now cape thing, and there's like a vial of holy water that she like carries around like on a chain around her neck, and she's going to crush it in her hand, bleeding a bit from the shards of glass, and is going to cast protection from evil and good on herself.
he's going to pull himself away from the sight of a giant cathedral of writhing maggots. We know of no other way out of here. And you can see slightly that he's struggling with the idea of going into a giant cathedral full of maggots, but okay. Oh, okay. He will wade, splash towards Ruth and Nora.
Is there any kind of
Yeah.
change after she casts her spell?
He's gonna try grab her other hand. We need to see this through. If it doesn't work, we'll find something else. But hold my hand. You don't have to see. We've got you.
I don't
He
want to
like
go.
looks to Ruth.
I don't want to go in there.
Neither do I, Nora. But that's our only exit.
You don't know that.
Do you wish to wander this place forever like everyone else? Looking for another way.
That's
Your
not
other option.
that's not a way. It's just hell.
You go, Jade.
Have courage. The alternative is not worth it.
The belfry is high, and this water is going to flood this place. If we can sit it out, and if we can't get anywhere else in time, and we try the bell, it works, we're gone. Doesn't, and we'll try something else. We've made it this far, and there's like a reassuring attempt looking at him. And I would really rather make a persuasion check against you than a suggestion spell.
Yeah.
But,
Do it. Roll it. Roll one.
okay. Oh, sweet. There's another 19 plus 8 for 27.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, with her wisdom save, that's a 15. So, I don't know like what you would roll to go against a persuasion check. Uh, so yeah, like I think between all of that, like she's gonna like finally like calm down a bit to begin making like steps forward.
Yeah, I see. You think. I think you see like kindness in his eyes, and there is that sort of slight smile that always kind of enchants people, you included. And I imagine maybe through like prestidigitation or something, the rain that falls around him doesn't fall on him. There's like a slight bubble, and it kind of like just runs around the bubble and never quite hits him. And when he's next to you, the rain never quite hits you either. And for a moment, you don't have to flick it out of your eyes. And
It's a nice change not having like maggot rain fall on her.
exactly,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
that calms her down a bit more.
And he'll smile, and there'll be a squeeze of the hand, and he'll, with Ruth, pull you, wade you through this water. Sister, lead on. I'm sure you've been to the Belfry of St. Paul's. Maggots or no maggots? I might say vermin or no vermin, but Liam?
You have no other option.
He'll nod at you stoically. Hmm. Roderick, We were acquaintances once. We don't need to make enemies of each other. Looking at the way that he wields that scythe. Hmm.
Right, how about you shove that fucking riddles up your fucking gob, or I'll stab out your heart. And like Nora pulls her rapiers and kind of wades towards him slowly through the way. Yeah, yeah.
Sister Cher tears her habit at the waist, just so it doesn't wear down anymore.
Hmm. Have we got the trapdoor open above, or it is open above? Does he? The way he's sounding, does it sound like he is the one that lets people move on, or okay? Okay. Before combat ensues, I'd like to ask, and how do the three of us move on? Hmm.
And I'm assuming waiting an hour is no option.
Uh, ooh, okay. Ruth, dear, please come with me. Don't fight with this man until your death.
Yet Nora is like still approaching him.
I will turn to Ruth, who I imagine is maybe near me or something, and or the sister, and say very quickly, I think I can get us all out of here, but we have to take her with us. We have to all be there to ring the bell.
I'm not sure that's how it works.
He turns
Unless
to
you whispered that
you.
to Ruth and I didn't hear it.
Okay, he turns to you as a sorcerer, and he's close, and the water is at like, I don't know, chest height or something at this point. It goes, yeah. This place does not have rules like ours, and I would break them 10 times over.
I like the way you speak.
I hope you see it. I hope you hear it again. And basically, he's asking you your help to get her to stop fighting him and to get us up into that belfry. Because he's not the strongest, I guess. Can
Cher has
I?
a terrible idea because Liam has a terrible idea. You can
Okay,
knock her out, and then I can spare the dying.
I just need her to stop.
Stop her. Sorry.
I mean, it would. Yes, you'd have to beat her up first. I'm going to cast suggestion, and I'm going to try and convince her to follow me up the ladder into the belfry, because it is what I think in her best interests. Because I may have, and it may be a little bit shitty, but I may have a way out of this for her.
So what's your DC?
16.
And how are you wording that?
I will reach out my hand as I'm sort of holding onto the stairs, and the water is nipple wood, and I will cry out to her as convincingly as I possibly can, and I will say, "Follow me as you have done to the ends of the earth. We will survive this as long as you hold my hand."
That's an 18, I'm afraid.
I'm going to use sorcery points and make it a disadvantage. Woo!
That'll be a 9.
Yes! I'm not sure I could really do that after you do that, but I feel like it maybe should go. Okay.
Yeah.
So he feels your will resist, as he well expected it should, because you've, protected him and the others many times. And there is that, like, you don't see it, but there's that kind of fight mentally, and he taps into something older, much older than him, and much more alien, and you are overcome. Sister Ruth, up now. As he sees you turn, maybe.
All right.
Yeah, and Nora will kind of turn to look at Balthazar and insert cool description here. But yeah,
I believe in you, see.
she starts like you can see like a lot of like the tension and madness kind of like leave her face, and like the rapiers will kind of, not that you can really see in like the water, but she's not like holding them above her head like ready to stab Roderick anymore, and she's gonna start like wading back towards Balthazar.
Roderick, this place is awful, and you should offer better service. And he's gonna pull her up into the belfry. Yeah.
You just said to the fucking god of death, "I'd like to speak to your manager."
Basically, yes.
Balthazar just
That's a
staring.
sorcerer. That is.
Fucking great. Sorry, carry on.
He fucks with the very makeup of reality. So hanging off this stairs now, I presume he will pull you up into the belfry. Up the maggot ladder. He is doing his best.
Oh, boy.
One-handed,
what is going on?
because you have to hold Nora's.
I mean, I'll climb up behind him just to, push
Yeah.
from.
So there's just one waking bell, and what, 3 people are meant to ring this, from what we were told?
Mhm.
It sounds like you ring it once and then you
You
Get-
teleport
you
back to the
wait,
land
yeah,
of wonder.
Mhm.
and
You
only
ding it again. You ding it again.
He stands holding Nora's hand with the water, I presume, still like almost shoulder, neck level now, even though we've got to the belfry, or it's following with us despite highs. Yeah. Sister, you first.
Are you certain, Balthazar?
Certain I would rather you live.
Do you not want to try your idea with young Nora first?
My trick works or it doesn't. Either way, she dies. Oh, if she stays, she dies, is what he says.
Either way.
No, that's not what I
Woohoo.
didn't mean to say. The way she dies, but if she stays, she dies.
Okay. Cher puts her hand on your shoulder and says, "See you when we wake up," and hits the bell.
Uh,
say it. You're going next.
I will follow you.
No,
And he says to you, "No, he's not lying. I will follow you, but I need the time to concentrate." And I imagine he's already been concentrating on something. Hmm. Ruth, you have kept us all alive this far. I will honestly not try to undo your work.
don't you dare die. And she'll ring the bell.
It's not my intention. As you go. Still clasping the hand, and with very little breath left, he will look into the eyes of Nora, and he will pull her close via a hand, and the other hand will wrap around that hand, and he will just say, "See you on the other side." And he's going to banish her. And if you are banished for a full minute from a plane you do not exist in, you appear on the plane that you rightfully exist in.
You fucking genius.
He is going to attempt to hold this for the minute to see her reappear, hopefully on that other plane, and then he will use the bell rope. And he has 4 constitution modifiers, so he should have at least 4 minutes to hold that underwater. Yeah, 1 plus con, yeah.
That is a 7 on her charisma saving throw.
Okay. He'll say that to her, and because he can't resist, he's going to kiss you on the lips, and then you are going to disappear. And then he's going to gasp and plunge into the cold water, and he's going to hold on to that bell rope. But he's not going to pull it until time. I've cheated the universe yet again. That is the feeling that he lives for. I don't know if Roderick is floating around in these waters. But he is going to give a fuck you salute to this place and pull the bell rope.
If it was a cinema, his, like the camera would be like on his face and like eyes would be closed as he's concentrating, and he'd have like those little tiny bubbles like crawling up his skin, and then like whenever it clicks into place, he like opens his eyes and smiles, and like more bubbles like kind of
Hmm.
flit up.
Took you long enough.